Good morning, St. John's. This is the last video that I'll be doing prior to Thanksgiving. And so what I thought I'd talk about today is a very relevant and pertinent subject for many of us, which is what do you do when you anticipate seeing family members at Thanksgiving, at a family gathering, whether it's virtual or in person, family members who have very different political views than you, especially at this time that is very polarized politically and socially. How do you conduct yourself? And what if that person says something? Do you sit quietly and just let it go by? Does that feel complicit? What about others who are sitting around the table who are really hoping that nobody says anything about politics? So what do you do with that dread or this tension or this elephant in the room when you're around family members who see things very, very differently than you? The Apostle Paul has a philosophy that we see throughout his writings. We see this primarily in Corinthians and in his writings to Timothy and also in Philippians, where he spends time encouraging his hearers, his audience, to think about their conduct. And his specific kind of idea, whether even though he doesn't say it this way, is that how you conduct yourself can lead to transformation of the situation and the transformation of others. And I want to offer this thought to us today, just first of all, kind of taking a step back and talking about the reality, which is that even though sometimes we go in going, okay, I've got the right things to say, the right responses in this or that situation. And so what I'm going to do is say them in the hopes that maybe I can change the way the other person sees things. The reality is that most of us will not make converts over the Thanksgiving meal. Once we kind of realize that and we step back, then the question is, how do we feel about changing the conversation? Because what I believe is that even though we can't make converts, what we can do, kind of based on how Paul approaches things, is we can lay the groundwork for healing, reconciliation, and a change of heart in the future for both of us. And so how you lay groundwork is how you conduct yourself, and specifically by building a sense of respect, where the other person respects you even more for the way that you're living your life. And I have a suggestion about this today. And first, a caveat: when you think about how to converse with someone who has a very different opinion or position, especially a family member around a family gathering, we have to be mindful that some people don't need actually more airtime. And so the situations are different. You might have someone who is just a loose cannon in the family who just will share their opinion, doesn't care about anything about anyone else's opinion. And the last thing you would want to do is just say, well, tell me more, because then that just invites chaos. And so this is a case-by-case situation. There might be others who are themselves feeling pretty fragile and might not want to say anything or have any conversations. And so the most gentle thing to do is to not introduce that into the conversation. But there are always those situations where it does feel like a conversation could be had, but you have no idea how to go about doing this. And that's where I want to offer suggested language today, which I'll also be using and have used in my own family settings. And here it is. So at a time when it comes up or where it feels natural to say very simply, I don't share your views, but I can see that this is coming from a very deep place for you, as I know it comes from a very deep place for me in my own life. And I see in here maybe a gift, because we're family, that we have an opportunity to learn something from each other, so that at the very least, we are gaining a deeper appreciation of the different thoughts and where things are coming from for people in our nation right now. So a real gift, because we're family, that we can learn from each other. And the reason I'm suggesting this type of approach, as opposed to one that says, look, they said something that I disagree with, and if I don't say something back that counters that, I'm going to be complicit. I want to invite us to, and maybe a better word is here, I want to release you from feeling like if you don't immediately lash back with the opposing opinion, that you're going to feel like you're a bigot or that you're someone who is riding the fence on the issues, that you have to take a stand. And the reason I want to release you from this is because we always have to take the long road on these things, the long view. And as far as Paul's concerned, it's a matter of laying the groundwork through our conduct so that by the time you're leaving the conversation, you've planted a seed where the other person goes, huh, it's an interruption, where the other person doesn't go, that's just what I expected. They're defensive and, I disagree with them. But instead, you want to interrupt the kind of the way of thinking and kind of the reactivity so that by the time you're leaving, the other person goes, wow, that was actually, I really respect them for the way that they handled that. What that does is that opens the door for future conversations where the next time the family is going to get together, there's more, you've laid the groundwork for a conversation that's not where there's no dread, but it's more like a continuation of something that is more open than closed. And so just let me repeat this very simple thing instead of saying you're stupid or I can't believe you would say something like that, which I'm sure none of you guys would say, but to say, I don't share your views on this, but I can see that this is coming from a very deep place for you as I know it's coming from me. But maybe we have an opportunity here because we're family members to really learn something from each other and then just kind of see where the conversation goes. St. John's, God bless you this Thanksgiving. Whether you're anticipating being with family or you're not really sure what your plans are yet, I want you to know that you're not alone. On Thursday morning at 10 a.m., I hope that you'll join me if you're able for a virtual Thanksgiving service. We'll just say some prayers, I'll share some thoughts, and we'll spend a little bit of time just connecting and knowing that we're a part of this broader church community where all are welcome. And just kind of feeling the warmth of that space together. So I hope that you'll consider joining me for that. The link is below in our Crossroads newsletter. And in the meantime, God bless you, and I look forward to seeing you on Sunday.